All right, yesterday, President Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, told the Associated Press the president will not answer questions from Robert Mueller about obstruction of justice. The mayor is now with us, the president's attorney. Mr. Mayor, good to see you, sir. How are you?
How are you?
Okay, so obstruction is off the table. They're not even asking for it, or?
No, they're asking for it, and the only way we would ever consider it is if we got the questions on collusion first, which we've agreed to do. We'll review them. If they're fair, if they're comprehensive, if there's no holding back of questions so they can ask questions in a later round, if it's done in good faith, then when we finish that, we'll sit with them and talk about any further questions, whether we're talking about any further questions on collusion or obstruction. Problem with obstruction is this. It all takes place post-presidency. To agree to it would really be to waive major presidential privilege. Also, it would involve very, very deep conversations that are very much within the executive branch of government. And finally, they don't need it. One of the things they would have to show is they have particularized need. In other words, they couldn't get it any other way. So far, every question that we think they're going to ask, they have the answer to it.
And 1.4 million documents. Don McGahn, this surprised me to find out Don McGahn, the White House counsel, gave 30 hours of testimony.
After 34 hours of testimony,
wow.
You don't need anything else. They have 1.4 million documents, 32 witnesses. Here's the big question on obstruction. Why did you fire Comey? Well,
he doesn't have to answer that.
He shouldn't have to answer that. He has the right to fire
Article
Comey.
2.
Plus, they have the answer. Take the Lester Holt tape and play it. There's your answer. Now, if you want him under oath to repeat that, you only want him under oath because you have some nefarious purpose.
In your previous life, people kind of forget. Next week is 9/11, 17 years later. But in your previous life, before being the mayor of New York, you were a prosecutor. So you make this statement, and I'll even say maybe inarticulate, but especially for those outside the legal community in legal jargon. What you were saying, and Alan Dershowitz defended you strongly on this, is that if Don McGahn gives testimony, you said 34 hours, I thought it was 30, and they interview the president, and he says one thing that contradicts Don McGahn, they get to decide who's telling the truth.
Yeah, do I want 17 angry Democrats to decide?
Andrew Weissman and Jeannie Ray? No.
Give me a break. I mean, maybe they've shown a little too much bias to think that they would be objective and fair. And the reality is, if it's one-on-one, he said, she said, there can be no determination of truth, which is why I said what I said. I mean, the fact is, even in a criminal trial, you don't prove truth. You prove have you proved guilt beyond a reasonable doubt? Not all doubt.
Reasonable.
Yeah, reasonable doubt. So somebody innocent could be convicted if it's beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not all doubt. Somebody that's guilty may not be convicted because there isn't proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So you got to be naive to think that it's a search for pure objective truth. What I said was the only place you can find truth is if you go to Chuck Todd's little magic room and Meet the Press can figure out the truth, because he's the one complaining about this.
You know, there's a phrase in the Washington Post this week talking about this anonymous, the sleeper cells have awakened in the United States, meaning the resistance within the administration. There's one line that really caught my attention. I was talking about it earlier, is that, so we will do what we can to steer the administration in the right direction until one way or another it's over. Why do I think that should be a Secret Service investigation and nobody seems to pick up on it? This is an unelected, unaccountable, anonymous bureaucrat.
Maybe with top secret clearance.
Maybe here's the president talking about war, peace, sources, methods, intelligence.
Maybe he decides that a very damaging piece of information on national security should be leaked because it would hurt Donald Trump without regard to whether it would hurt the nation. Because whoever elected him to be the repository of determining what should be secret and what shouldn't be secret. This is a perfect perversion of what it means to be in federal office. This man, or woman, well, we think man, right, unless he's lying about that too,
right?
This man should quit and hold a press conference. That would be the honorable thing to do. This is why I don't think it's any of the generals. I don't think anybody ever went to West Point. Pompeo put it best. Pompeo said, I was taught, if you disagree with the boss, you decide how important it is. If it's not that important, you stay. If it's conscience, you leave. And you stand up like a hero. Mm-hmm. This is no hero. No. This is a little slime ball.
It's also dangerous.
Dangerous? It's exceedingly dangerous because this man has decided he's the repository of truth. Again, what I'm telling you. I mean, all these left-wingers think they know truth.
More than
well, you know who knows truth? God. God knows truth. We do the best we can to struggle with it. And hopefully we get close to it.
But the president ran. The president was elected. The president will be held accountable. The president, the American people gave him a seal of approval, not this anonymous person. All right, Mayor, good to see you. Now